running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will, and welcome to 305 Live. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight here on this pregame Friday as the Miami Hurricanes tomorrow at 3:30 at The Rock will take on the Syracuse Orangemen. It should be a revenge game since last year, literally, that is a team that cost us a chance at not only going to the ACC championship game, but also going into the college football playoffs. So I really hope that Miami does put the foot on the pedal on the gas and just roll them over, as it is considered to me as a revenge game, despite the fact that Syracuse is pretty much depleted. Okay, now there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the Canes world as far as conversations that the fans are having, online about Mark Cristobal, and now we're hearing conversations about not even the season, not even over yet, with still several games to go. And now we're going to talk about Lenore Sellers. Lenore Sellers is a conversation I am going to have next week, on an episode that I'm going to record, and also with our guest next week that I will be mentioning at the end of this broadcast here tonight. But I want to go over a little bit of what is Syracuse. Now, Syracuse started out pretty well when they had Steve Angeli at quarterback, but they have been an outright disaster ever since Angeli went down with Ricky Collins. Okay, then when it didn't work out with Ricky, they brought in, a walk-on lacrosse player as well that got creamed by North Carolina, and they have just been a very, very, very underwhelming team so far. And Miami is a 28.5 point favorite, nearly 30-point favorite against the Orangemen. A lot of the audience, from what I've read in several comments from different podcasts, they don't see why the 28 points, because the fact of the matter is the loss last week was so deflating for Miami that many fans don't feel like Miami can put up a lot of points, even against Syracuse. But there's a reason why Syracuse has looked absolutely horrible, terrible, and not very fun to watch as well. We put up 42, all right, on Stanford. 42, 35 of them came in one half in the second half when Miami woke up and the offense opened up a bit and they pretty much destroyed them and pounded the Cardinal. But the bottom line is that well, to read this comment from Juan Manuel, I'm going to address that in about 2 seconds. Oh man, shoot. Okay, I lost my train of thought. You'll see what you guys see in a minute when I post it. So basically what I'm trying to say is that they've been pretty underwhelming. I will say that. I got to address this comment. All right. So regarding Coach Cristobal, okay, Will, you are an educator. Okay, Mario improve his football IQ. Does Mario and Mirabal, I said Mirabal, but Mirabal need to go on a little yellow bus to remedial coaching school in general? Listen, I'll be very honest with you. I have no issues with Coach Mirabal, to be frank with you. The only issues I have is the whole idea of it's just the penalty aspect of things. I do think that the offensive line is still well coached, and most of those guys are going to be in the NFL as well. But there has been a regression in terms of run blocking in particular, because the fact is that they are stacking the box, and it's making run blocking very difficult. Last season was a whole different animal, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been torturing myself watching old shorts of mine that I did last season with Cam Ward at the helm, and it did seem like the offense was a lot more open last year. And not only that, with the offense being more open last year with more 5 wideout sets, and I would say experienced receivers, that Cam had an opportunity to throw to, including a tight end, Elijah Arroyo, that could block, that could play inline. You could flex him outside and even use him in the boundary as well. Like, we were blessed to have that young man as a Miami Hurricane. I really, 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 really miss Elijah Arroyo. And, he recently caught a touchdown for the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL. But the bottom line is that we're very tight offensively. It's an offense that looks stagnant. It looks a little, how can I say it, stiff. When last year everything flowed. And if you guys get a chance on Kane Inside, big shout out to D Money. He wrote a great article breaking down last year's team with this year's team, comparing Ward to Beck, and how Ward in general was able to operate under any offense because he was going to pace the game the way he felt. And he had that much confidence and that much command and that much confidence in his athletic ability that he was able to do a lot as well, which is not what we're seeing this year with Carson Beck. We're seeing a lot more tighter formations as well, and too much run heavy, way too conservative, and it's actually cost us 2 games. It cost us against Louisville, and it definitely cost us against SMU. More SMU than Louisville. I think the 4 interceptions with stalled drives were a bigger problem, but I will say this: the penalties and the lack of offensive execution really killed us last week. Listen, I'll be very frank with you. I'm going to go to SMU, talk about last week's game since Juan brought that up. And I just want to say a few things. As a fan, I'm really sick and tired of hearing the coach say over and over again that we got to clean things up. You got to do it. Listen, I understand holding, okay? Because to be honest with you, and every single football fan will tell you whether they're a coach or whether they're just a fan altogether, holding happens on every play. In many cases, the referee takes discretion and when to call holding. If it's super duper egregious, that's when refs should really throw the flag. Okay, when it really causes an impediment. But in most cases, refs kind of like, play by ear. If you're between the shoulder pads, they pretty much don't call it. Okay, so that's the thing with holding. But procedural penalties, that's inexcusable. False starts, inexcusable. Illegal man downfield, an ineligible receiver downfield, that's inexcusable. That happened on one play against SMU where Beck had the ball it felt like for 10 to 15 seconds. Fletcher was open on in the flat, but he wanted to go for the big play, and I think he hit Malachi Toney on that throw. It was like a 35-yard gain that got called back because one of the linemen, went a little too forward past the line of scrimmage. So the bottom line is, though, those are things that happened, at the SMU game. But 12 penalties, 96 yards, that's inexcusable. Miami is one of the worst penalized teams in the entire NCAA, okay? One of the worst. This is a team that was built, supposed to be disciplined from a old school championship minded head coach, and also from a head coach that was mentored by the GOAT, Nick Saban. Nick Saban did not put up with stupid penalties. Penalties put you in a situation where if you have to go for it on 4th down, it's a problem. 3rd and 2 becomes 3rd and 7. 3rd and 2 can become 3rd and 12. That is a problem with penalties. All right. And we gave them an entire football field of penalties. Okay. Of penalties. And that's the issue. That is the issue. Okay. The whole thing with penalties. All right. Let me see. Juan, thank you so much for contributing, Juan. Well, the main problem start at the O-line is number 52 is a liability. Number 2, O-line with tight alignment designed not to get yardage, but to impede you from running outside. Yeah, we also do enough outside runs. We did a little bit of that one against SMU. There were some runs designed to go outside, and they were pretty successful actually because everything was so concentrated on the inside because that's what everybody expects us to run, and they were pretty successful. I expect hopefully a little more this upcoming Saturday because you have a faster back in Jordan Lau that's going to get more touches. So I do expect some runs to bounce more outside. But yeah, Brockermeyer has been an issue. Brockermeyer's been good in pass protection. He's been getting blown up in terms of run blocking, and that's been the issue. He got mauled on that 4th and 1 where Fletcher got stopped. I forgot his name, but his 340-pound defensive tackle from SMU pushed him back altogether. He's been pushed back a few times. So yeah, we were spoiled with Mac Lee and last year's center. And Brockmeyer hasn't been that dude. I'm actually surprised because he comes from NFL pedigree. But no, he hasn't been that dude as well. I'm really hoping that next season, Ryan Rodriguez can be plugged in and can be more successful, or SJ Alafaiduli, who was expected to be a center, or SJ Ryan and Max Buchanan can compete for the role of starting center. So we'll see how that goes. This is it's going to be a new line next year, led by Jackson Cantwell taking over for CC Maui-Noa. So that's going to be it. Okay, thank you very much, Chris Gons. Thank you so much for all your support as well. My buddy, yo, what's up, Anthony? Talking Game. Please subscribe to his podcast. All right, Anthony always gives you good content. Covers a little bit of everything as well, not just Canes coverage, but also covers a lot of Dolphin coverage. Covers the Marlins as well, the Panthers as well. And Chris Gons had a comment as well. Go Canes. Will the O-line has not given up a sack in 5 weeks? Is that true? I think so. Yeah. The pressure rate for Carson Beck is I think it's at 13 to 16%. Miami has a top 10 pass protection in college football. Somehow we are not putting up more, and now we beast talent everywhere. JoJo Trader, Malachi Toney, CJ Daniels, Elijah Lofton as well. Absolutely. And this is what Juan is saying, because we're too run heavy. We're way too run heavy. Plus 8-9 penalties a game, under 30 points in close games. Why not Rodriguez now? Rodriguez started 3 games in 2023. Good point, man. Good point. Okay. Not sure. All right, not sure. There might be a drop-off in practice, which concerns me, but I think that the battle's going to be between Ryan Rodriguez and SJ Lafaituli, who's actually done very well at fullback. Whenever they've done those 3rd and 1 sets or 4th and 1 sets, goal line sets, Lafaituli has pushed the pile as a fullback. So just shows how athletic the young man truly and really is. All right, as well. But I do agree with you. And Brockermeyer has been part of those penalties. He had like 3 against Florida, if I recall, as well. The problem is, though, and I'm going to get into that exactly a little bit more of what I think Miami really needs to do in the second half of this podcast. But I really want to break down. Yeah, I mean, like, again, Juan, I'm not at practice. That's why I don't know if there's a major drop-off between Brockermeyer and Rodriguez. I'm just wondering that maybe Brockermeyer is the best we got as of right now, and Rodriguez will develop more next year. But again, and SJ is a true freshman, so that's another reason why he's not playing center. But I do know that Buchanan wants a shot at it. SJ came in as a center, and Rodriguez will probably play center or move to guard, I think, something along the lines from what I've heard. All right, so I want to break down Syracuse a little bit, and you guys feel free to make fun of Syracuse as well, because Syracuse, ladies and gentlemen, is really bad. Okay, they are a really bad football team. If you're going to have a revenge game, this is the revenge game that you want to have. Let me just scroll down a little bit here. All right, as well, courtesy of Microsoft Copilot. Okay, as well. We know it starts at 3:30, so please, guys, pack the rock. I'll be actually the NC State game next week. So if you see me, please feel free to say hello. Okay, we know Skizzy about that. Miami 6-2, 2-2 in the ACC. Miami should have been 3-1 or 4-0. We know that. Syracuse is 3-6. They look good. Even in a loss to Tennessee, I thought the offense for Syracuse looked really good with Angeli as quarterback. Although Syracuse won that football game against Clemson, it was at a cost, as Angeli got knocked out for the season because of a Clemson defender that didn't know when to let up. Now, statistically, let's look at Miami versus Syracuse, okay? Miami averages 32 points per game. That's 44th in the country. Syracuse averages 23 or basically 24 points per game. That is 97th in the country. Yards per game, Miami averages 413, basically 414. That's 46. And best in the country. Syracuse is 370, 81st. Passing-wise, Miami is at averages about 259 per game. Miami is very balanced, okay? I will say that, versus the 112 yards per game that Syracuse puts together. And then you have the defensive points per game. Miami's giving up an average of 15.6 points per game. That's 9th best in the country. Syracuse over 30. That's 113th. All right, that's pretty bad. Yards per game, 285. Syracuse 435. So this is somewhere where Miami needs to really step up. Miami is in the plus range with +4 a turnover range, and Syracuse is at -7, which is really horrible. It's 119th in the country. This is a game where Miami really needs to dominate. Okay, and I'm gonna go over a little bit of that as well. It's been official. Okay, Carson Beck has almost 2,000 yards passing, very balanced again, 14 touchdowns, 9 picks. A few of those haven't been his fault. Let's be blunt about it. But against Louisville, some of them were just inexcusable. Mark Fletcher has 636 yards for the season, 9 touchdowns, but he will not be playing. It will be the Marty Brown, Jordan Lyle show, and hopefully a little bit of Hellcat, Chris Ridley Humphrey, or Gerard Pringle. Pringle's the future, man. That guy is an absolute stud. Fran Brown announced that Ricky Collins will get the start. Ricky Collins has been atrocious with 6 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, but they have a pretty decent running back. And Yassine Willis with 490 yards rushing for the season and 2 touchdowns, all right, as well. Okay, so the injury report for Miami is Tony Johnson, Mark Fletcher, and OJ Federic will be out. CJ Daniels will be questionable, as also is Ahmad Moten. I don't know if CJ is going to play. I think this is a good game to get JoJo Trader a bit more run as well. Miami is a 28.5-point favorite, and the algorithm says Miami 43-6. Okay, in this game altogether. All right, and the guy that was talking about the walk-on, that is Joseph Filardi. Filardi was a 5-star lacrosse player. So that was Fran Brown's answer to basically get everybody on the same page. Let me fix that. I don't like when I'm so close. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so let's see. Before I go to commercial break really quickly, and I say what Miami needs to do in general, I will go over some more comments. Okay, well, I'm surprised as old school Mario is, yes, run the ball, but Hurricanes, Miami back in the day was explosive, capable of the big play like we did with FSU. It's funny enough because Miami was explosive back in the day, but Miami was also pretty balanced under the Butch Davis years. With Jimmy Johnson, believe it or not, and Dennis Erickson, it was a more pass-happy team. Even though we have very good running backs, but it was a very pass-happy team. I remember I was really young. But with Butch, we were much more balanced. We had Edrin James, we had Clinton Portis, James Jackson, as well Frank Gore. Those are guys that brought a lot of balance, but the passing game was very explosive because you had to worry about the running game, and we had elite receivers that we knew when to throw and when to run. Miami could pick and choose what they were able to do because Miami, again, was a very balanced team altogether. All right, as well. Let me see. Chris had another comment here. We better beat blowout Syracuse. We're much better, especially at home. Yeah, it's true. I agree with Chris there. And Miami 37-13. I hope the score is higher, to be honest with you. I'm not predicting a damn thing for a long time. Okay, I think I'm done with the prediction game altogether. But thank you, Chris, for giving us yours as well. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over as far as Syracuse goes. Miami should blow them out. They will be at home. It's a revenge game for the Canes. Miami could have easily won last year's game. Miami was up 21-0, and the Guidry leaky defense blew the game for the Canes, and that was something that I think Miami fans need to forget. Okay, so I'm gonna go over what I think Miami needs to do on Saturday to make sure they achieve victory well and dominantly, and can kind of get the fan base to breathe a little bit on where Miami is as a team. Even though Syracuse is a joke, and after NC State, you're on the road for the last 2 games, but I do think that Miami should be able to handle business at 3:30, starting at 3:30 at the Rock tomorrow, probably mid-afternoon. What I'm going to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before I break down what I think needs to happen with Syracuse, all right, I am going to give you guys a word from our sponsor, Fan Outfitters. Fan Outfitters, the official sponsor. Actually, let me put away the comment for a second. Give me 1 second. There we go. There we go. And now go back to media. I'm my own producer, guys. I am a one-man show here.
Ooh, Miami. I am proud to announce that Fan Outfitters is the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. With locations in Pembroke Pines, Davie, and Kendall, you can find the latest gear and accessories for all your favorite South Florida teams. Teams like your Miami Hurricanes, your Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Inter Miami, Miami Marlins, and many, many more. So if you ever find yourself in the Pembroke Pines area, Davie, or Kendall, please stop by Fan Outfitters, the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is Fan Outfitters, the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. If you're ever in the Kendall area, Davie area, or Pembroke Pines, please check out one of the stores, as they have some of the best accessories and clothing, of course, of your Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Miami Heat, Inter Miami, Miami Marlins, and even a little FIU as well. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please pass by and shop at Fan Outfitters, the official sponsor of 305 Sports Now. So what are we going to talk about, guys? Let's have that conversation. Okay, let's have that conversation. Go to the comment section quickly. Okay. I love Juan, man. Juan is such a good dude, and he's such a supporter of all of us. So I love giving him the floor when it comes to commentary here. By the way, anybody can comment on here. I'll address every single comment. I try my best to do that because without you guys, I do not have a show. Okay, so you guys make the show go and keep the show going. Miami is extremely lucky to play Syracuse. Miami has a major problem and locker room issue when you don't play your best players. Instead, players you favor due to NIL politics of seniority or pettiness. Okay, so again, I'm not in the locker room, and we all know that is very airtight and stuff like that. I know there's been a lot said about in particular about JoJo Trader. He looked pretty good before he popped the ball up in the air and caused an interception. Carson really didn't go to him. He was gonna, I believe, go to him at the end of overtime until he was tackled by the defender, the SMU defender, and the 3 blind mice known as the ACC officials. Didn't see it, even though the guy rolled around in the ring like he was rolling in judo, and stuff like that. I'm sorry, in jiu-jitsu. So that's the case. But I have heard, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't like commenting on that because I don't know really what's going on as well. But I wouldn't be surprised. It's just normal that if you're gonna pay somebody, to play for you, it's normal to try to get your money's worth. So that's why a lot of times these guys get a little extra snaps than they deserve. So that does happen. I'm sure happens at the U, but I haven't heard anything that's a problem, in the locker room from anybody that I know, including people close to the team or even some people that do this for a living, as well as podcasters or Canes content creators as well. So why not get you, man? I know that's something, but I'm not going to really comment too much of that because I don't know. I will say that. So that's the thing. Okay, that's the thing. That again, I try not to comment out of turn. That's all I'm basically saying. But I'm sure the NIL stuff does happen. Okay, I'm sure it does because you paying a guy $1 million to sit on the bench, it could become an issue for some of the people, the collective that invested in that player. Okay, so my keys to the game are pretty simple. Miami's got to be balanced. Miami's got to pretty much like I said in the thumbnail, they got to let that sucker rip, dude. They got to let that thing rip. That offense needs to open up. Those condensed sets and stuff like that, they cannot be. I think Carson, I agree with D-Money. Carson is much better when it's he doesn't have to hold the ball that long when it's a quick strike. More so than when he has way too much time. But it's kind of funny because quarterbacks, usually when they have way too much time, they shred teams altogether. But I do think that Carson is better if the ball gets out of his hands quickly. Miami's passing game has got to be a bit more potent in this game. It should be altogether. It should be. So I do think that that's a possibility. They will see the ball let it go. Listen, Miami had a good running game last year, okay? And we were behind a lot. We had to throw a lot. And that's pretty much why the running game in many games was pretty good because teams were playing back because Ward was just that effective and Miami was such a quick strike offense. Another thing I also wanted to bring up as well, I know we threw a lot because we were behind a lot, but if you also look at games where we blew teams out like USF, Wake Forest, and Florida, where Miami was pretty much in control the entire game, or even close games like against Virginia Tech in general, Miami was still pretty active passing the football throughout the whole game. And as well, the running game opened up because of the passing game, and also because we were spread out more wide. That's another thing as well. So I want to give Chris the floor here. Okay, Chris Gonzalez. What he said, Will, this is the most talented, best roster Miami has had in 20 plus years. I think the 2003 Canes who won the Orange Bowl or FSU, and we're not going to make the playoffs or the ACC title. Yeah, I think we have a better chance of making the playoffs than honestly the ACC championship game because I don't see Louisville losing another game, and I don't see Tech losing another game either, or Virginia for that matter as well. I'm not sure. I mean, I think it happened. It's been a wild college football season. I also want to let everybody know, and remind everybody that Miami isn't the only team that's lost to unranked opponents. It has been a wild college football season. We have seen teams fall to unranked teams like. At the time, Penn State was ranked, and it came off a very close game against Oregon, and they were beat by a very lonely UCLA team that went in there and defeated Penn State. And then, of course, you have Iowa State, losing, to an unranked team, and Ole Miss actually almost lost, I believe, to an unranked team as well. So the transfer portal has done a lot for college football in the sense that's created somewhat a little bit more parity. So we are seeing, these teams that usually like 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago would have ran over an unranked opponent. We're not seeing that so much anymore. We're seeing that the unranked opponent, if you're not dotting your I's and crossing your T's, you could find yourself in a very, very big dogfight towards the end of the game. So that's something that I think people should consider. Let's see. The sad thing is Miami. Thank you, Juan. Sentiment is head and shoulder more talented than the team on the schedule. Miami's fighting itself. Can Mario and self scout make adjustments? Will, is there something on D you change? Yes, on defense. I'll get into that in a minute. Heck, I'll just answer it right now. Honestly speaking, I know there's micromanaging that some fans do with the defense. If you look at the defense, we've been pretty consistent. The pass rush is still pretty good. We haven't gotten sacks because teams are scheming away from Ruben Bain quite a bit, getting the ball out quickly. So that's a one thing. But the pressure rate is still pretty good. As well, Jennings was in a lot of duress in most of the game. He was able to break contain on several occasions as well. Miller Moss just got the ball out quickly. All right, that's one of the things. And this is where I definitely agree with Juan on both ends. Yes, I do think that we should play a little more press. That I do 1000% agree. We should play a little more press. I don't know what they're seeing in practice where we're not doing it as much, but Chris Bell had way too much running room. And I don't think we bumped the receivers enough. I think if you bump the receivers, even if they get bypassed a bit by the receiver, like if Chris Bell, let's say OG Federico is in coverage and he was to bump Chris Bell and he's able to get by him, I do think that still gives enough time for would have given enough time for Mesidor and Bain to be able to collapse the pocket and take down Miller Moss. That's just an idea. That's the same thing I had a complaint about last year in the Syracuse game, where Kyle McCord had trouble the first couple drives because he was holding on to the ball too long, and receivers running free. I totally agree. Holding on to the ball a little too long, and that was a problem. So that's one of the main reasons why I think that that McCord was able to shred the Miami defense, because he got the ball out very quick because we didn't put any coverage. Okay, Xavier Lucas, yes. Brown as yes, and O'Connor. What does Heatherman fear? Again, I don't know. Like, I'm not in practice, so I don't know, but I totally agree with you. Ethan O'Connor is aggressive as hell. Damari Brown is good as a nickel. Okay, I would do that, but you have a little bit of Keontae's playing your nickel basically, so that's the one thing. But as a nickel, Brown's very good as well. Lucas, I like Lucas a lot. He's very physical. We saw that as well against Florida State, by the way. It was 3rd and 10. Florida State was pinned back in their territory, and Lucas gave Deuce Robinson a 10-yard cushion, which got him a first down. I really don't know why. But again, we are far, far, far ahead than what we had last year. Okay, Miami's only given up the most they've given up is 24 points in regulation. From quarter 1 to quarter 4. That's much better than the 38 points a game we averaged last season against Power 4 teams. Okay, and the ACC was like 38. It was really bad last season, and Miami's defense has kept us in games. Miami's defense gave up 14 quick points against Louisville and only gave up 10 the rest of the way. That's enough at home to get you a victory. That's enough at home where Campbell would have put up 40. Okay, and again, this what drives me absolutely nuts. Okay, Miami can never have the best of anything. Is anything blinkers? See, Heatherman does blink. He doesn't blink. You know that one. All right, let's see. Has been great. Yeah, I agree. I think he's been a breath of fresh air. Okay, as well. And we have the talent. Keontae Scott's been a baller, man. Keontae Scott's gonna make a lot of money in the NFL because of Heatherman's defense, and so is Jacoby as well. Jacoby Thomas as well. So I think that we're good on defense as well. But again, I do agree with Juan. If I was to tweak one thing, just one thing, it would be more press coverage. Let's see. Keontae Scott will give him his flowers. Yeah, definitely, man. The guy's going to the NFL. The guy's gonna make a lot of money. He is playing like an All-American. Do you remember our nickel play last year? Oh, it's horrific. It was horrific. It was awful. Okay, it was awful. DeMar was hurt all last season too, quite a bit. So that could have been your nickel, but yeah, it was absolutely awful. Let's see. If Heatherman was here last year, we won the ACC. Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I think we would have had that defense. I don't think the talent in the secondary was as good, to be honest with you. Mish Powell, Keontae Scott's way above better than Mish Powell as well. And what's the guy that went to Georgia? I forgot his name. The one that was always taking bad angles. Okay, Poise is much better than him, and Tom is much better than him. Tackle's much better. Dayani Hill was horrific as well. So we did upgrade a lot on our defense. But I do think our defense would have been better with Heatherman at the helm. I will say that last season, and of course Cam at quarterback. So yeah, man. So again, just let it rip. If you let the ball rip, the running game is going to be much more efficient. So again, hit the open receivers, play faster. Not necessarily playing tempo the whole game, but don't wait till like 3 seconds left in the clock to send the ball to your quarterback. Outside runs, use it, taking advantage that you have a speedier back and a very depleted defense that you're playing against. A defense is very underwhelming as well. Duke destroyed Syracuse at home. Okay, Syracuse got mauled by Duke at home. Miami should house these guys over at the Rock. So again, exploit the matchups. Quick passing game. Have your running game, hit the outside quite a bit, in general. Don't be so committed to running up the middle, the A or B gaps as well. Send them outside. Dude, trick plays. Keep running reverses. Use the oh my gosh, I just went blank on the jet sweep. Use jet sweeps with Malachi Toney. Utilize him as well. And just basically destroy Syracuse. Right now, it's all about style points. Okay? It's all about Jaden Harris is getting burned in Georgia. Okay, we'll what would be the 3 changes you would make after 8 games? Jalen Harris is getting burned in Georgia. I haven't kept up with his career, honest with you. But he's getting burned. All right. So what was I saying? Okay. So yeah, well, 3 things I would change. Make change after big games. Just what I'm just telling you, just play faster. Play a lot faster, and make sure that you get the ball out quicker in your hands. That's it. Pretty much play a lot faster, and just balance yourself out more where you're running up the scoreboard. You don't need to pound all the time. All right. You can't, not consistently. Okay. So that's pretty much what I want to get at. Okay. And so on. So those are my keys to the game. Your offense needs to be faster. Cut the stupidity. I think if you play faster, you'll have less procedural penalties because you won't be under center for so long. All right, as well. And the defense needs to play more aggressively, force some turnovers, put your team in a good position to score quickly. This game should be over by the 3rd quarter. Okay? By early 3rd quarter. Like, put it away in the 3rd quarter early, and then have Luke Nickel get some run. Have, your young guys get some run as well, and get ready for NC State, which is going to be a real test, as CJ Billy is going to come to the Rock, and you're going to really see what he's made of, because he's going to want to show out here for his hometown fans. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. I'm gonna be really quick. I'm gonna spend some time with the family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for everybody that's participated. Juan, Tony, Chris Gons, man, thank you so much for everything. Everybody have a wonderful evening. God bless you guys. Let me see. Who was last secretary? Yes, thank you, Jaden. Was it Jaden? Is Jaden Harris? Yeah, Jaden Harris. Oh, thank you. All right, Jaden Harris. That's right. Thank you so much, Juan. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for your support. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you heard, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Next week, I will be doing a special on Lenore Sellers. I think that's a great conversation. I'll give you my take on Lenore's and also on what I think it may do the quarterback room in the future. The fact that this is already leaking out. And by the way, this is coming from the media. This isn't directly coming from anybody that's closely connected to the team. So I just want to I want to illustrate that as well. Okay, what time next week? I don't know yet, Juan, but I'll definitely make an announcement. All right, but next week though, on Thursday at 8:30 p.m., I will be having once again the host of Locked On Canes, Alex Dano, will be on with me. We'll be discussing Lenore Sellers and NC State and the state of the Miami offense alongside, okay, former assistant under Mike Leach when he was with the Texas Raiders, when he's at Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. Manny Masakis goes. Manny Masakis once again will be joining us alongside with Alex Dano. We'll be discussing again NC State, the state of the Miami offense, and Manny Masakis will discuss Shannon Dawson, since he does know him a little bit more personally than most people here in the podcasting sphere in general. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful evening, guys. Yes, Thursday 8:30. Yes, it'll be live. That won't be live. It'll be an early one this upcoming week. But for sure. 8:30 live, yes, with Alex Dano and Coach Manny Masakis. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Juan. Once again, God bless. See you guys soon. Go Canes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye, everybody.